Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're talking love and marriage Huntsville. Y'all know why y'all here. Anything I say is alleged and in my very, 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 very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. This is absolutely not personal. So let's get into it. So something I wanted to talk about in Carlos King's Mr. Mondays, featuring none other than Maurice Scott. And Carlos is interesting. As much as people try to accuse Mel of trying to destroy everyone's marriage on the show because things didn't work out with her and Martel, Carlos King's line of questioning, I beg to differ. He has this fascination with cheating, with trying to insert his personal relationships and project upon these cast members, and tries to redirect these questions and hoping that he gets the answer that he wants. But then on the flip side, it's like he wants these people to admit that they've cheated. But then on the flip side, when he wants to excuse the cheating and protect the cheaters, he says that cheating's not a deal breaker for him. Can you make it make sense? But nonetheless, Carlos King right off the bat was trying to follow up from last week's Mr. Monday, in which Kimmy basically said she flat out doesn't like Maurice going out all the time like this. But at the same token, this is how you met Maurice. Out here in these streets. You met him outside. So nonetheless, and you're up here talking about how you sent his brothers basically to make sure that he's cared for and taken home and all that stuff. So we follow up to this Monday, and Carlos King, he is trying to get the tea, right? He's trying to get the tea. They have pleasantries about, how their holiday was, how Thanksgiving was, and all these things. Carlos King is asking flat out to Maurice, why do you feel you need to be out at 4 a.m. all the time? And Maurice is a master deflector, you guys. He completely deflects and wants to circle back to Carlos King's personal life and circle back about Carlos King now having baby fever as a result of spending the Thanksgiving holiday with his family, you guys. And I was like, this is going to be a very, 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 very long night. Because Maurice is the main one out of the cast, I would say, that never directly answers the question and is always going to either completely redirect it to something else or completely go on a long-winded rant that by the time he gets to the end of it, you don't even know what the original question was, because he's definitely not going to answer the question either way, you guys. But nonetheless, he's basically saying, Maurice, that he's been out in these streets since he was 13, that he doesn't see an issue. He said he likes people and he likes people watching. Not sure how much people watching is taking place at 4 a.m., because several places are not open till 4 a.m. these days. So nonetheless, unless you're out in Vegas or just certain spots, it's just wild. But please tell me, those of you that live in Huntsville, the establishments that are open until 4 a.m. He also says that he likes being in airports all the time. He also feels the need to sleep at his job, the same alleged office space that there were some other allegations that were made at a previous reunion at what goes on after hours there, allegedly. And then he also said that he has releasing that he needs to do, that there's a lot of release of stress that he needs, that there is, other releases that he needs to have. And Carlos King, here he goes. He's like, do those releases involve something below? And Maurice is like, well, outside of taking a leak, like what are we talking about here? I knew he knew what he was talking about, right? And so Gucci comes in, she chimes in, because she's like, listen, like, I'm married, but, my husband, he goes out, JJ, he goes out every once in a while with the fellas. It's not this ongoing thing. So then first Maurice says, that he goes out all the time. He doesn't see the issue. Then he tries to walk it back, that it's not as often as people think. Then tries to walk it back, you know, down to like a few times a month or whatever, right? But then said, you know, it might be more than a few times a month that he's out till 4 a.m., but maybe at least twice a week he's out to at least 2 a.m. And then this is where it gets interesting, right? Because essentially, he is asked, okay, so obviously you are going to see women at these events, at these, establishments till 4 in the morning. Obviously, there's going to be all this temptation. What are you doing in the situation, and why isn't Kimmy with you? And Maurice said that Kimmy likes to go to bed early, that Kimmy does not like to be out all hours of the night. This is the same Kimmy who was voiced even as of last week. She does not like Maurice being out in these streets all hours of the night all the time. But while Maurice deflects when asking about people hitting on him and everything else, because he thinks that he is God's gift to women, he thinks all these women want him, you guys. He is saying to this day, the women at the grocery store, the women on the corner, the women at these establishments till 4 a.m., any woman in Huntsville wants Maurice Scott bad, and I need those of you that live in Huntsville, Alabama, to let me know what the heck he's talking about, and to let me know if you are aware of these alleged women that are so entranced by Maurice and they cannot help themselves. Maurice even gave a story, you guys, about how he said he was going to get his tags renewed, and essentially he was standing in line and said that there were some women that basically just wanted to film him standing in line, because it was him or whatever. And I was like, okay. like what does that have to do with anybody hitting on you? What does that have to do with anybody, trying to get at you? But nonetheless, the reason that we're here is because Maurice also made a comment that a lot of the times that he is hanging out is because he is 9 times out of 10 with Sadaric and his wife, you guys. You remember Sadaric, who used to be on the show those earlier seasons until that alleged allegation happened, and he is nowhere to be found on the show anymore. But then Maurice also said it's not just Sadaric's wife, that he spends a lot of time with other men's wives. And I found that to be very interesting. Because why are you so comfortable around other men's wives, but you can't be at home with your wife? And what is it that you can only find this level of entertainment and stress relief out at the club until 4 a.m. or out into some establishment until 4 a.m. versus finding other things to do with your spouse, Kimmy, to liven things up, right? To have, whether it's date night, whether it's a, spontaneous romantic getaway weekend, or just something that is not her trying to figure out where you're at. And at the point now where she's not waiting up for you, she's just flat out going to bed. But because of the DUI situation, obviously was looking for you, was trying to go to the office, was trying to go all these places. And it just seems like Maurice doesn't think this is an issue. He's trying to claim he's cut it back, but I don't really think he has. It just sounds like he dismisses Kimmy's feelings. He dismisses Kimmy's concerns. And, Dustin's trying to chime in and basically saying, well, you have to understand with the way that things are, set up as innuendos and leaving things to be interpreted and implied on these reality shows, people are trying to put together, okay, why is this happening? Is there something more nefarious going on? Is there something more salacious going on? And that's why people are trying to find out, okay, why can't we just get the actual story? Why does it always have to be the runaround? Why does it always have to be this rigmarole and all these things? But if you've married somebody who doesn't like going out, even though she met him going out, and it's at the point now where she's over it, like where do we go from here? And then Maurice is basically saying, you know, that at this point he's, you know, if why would he marry somebody who doesn't trust him, you know? But at some point something has to give. And then Maurice is getting cocky, talking about how he played college HBCU, so therefore he said he's turned down bad chicks all the time since college, you guys. And I was just wow. I was just wow. And so he feels that the leased Lamborghinis and the G-Wagon is what's getting him all this attention. Nothing else. Not his looks, not the Mr. Clean Bald Head, not him being a lawyer, not him, you know, having all these businesses, Carlos King calling him wealthy. None of that, you guys. None of that. So that is all I wanted to say in this particular video. Carlos King is trying, like I said, to really push this cheating thing. And as much as you guys think it's Mel, and as much as you guys think it's Martel, it's actually Carlos King that's facilitating this. And I peeped this a long time ago. And you can see it displayed on his shows. The obsession with, like, even when it started on Housewives, who of the women is interesting in playing in the lady pond and all of this stuff, you know, who's an opportunist. And then we transition over to here and it's who's a side chick, who's a side dude. Oh, now you're on the #1 show on OWN. Who's trying to get at you? Have you given into any temptations out there and all these things? He is trying to set the trap for these men on these shows to fall right in. And it seems that Carlos King believes whatever allegations Martel has made about the Scotts and the cheating. And they even threw in there about, you know, getting hit on by alleged linebackers, which also came from Martel's side chick / friend, because Martel said he hasn't had a girlfriend in 5 years. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.